It was a rainy Tuesday afternoon when Sarah Evans, a single mom in her early 30s, rushed from her second job at the diner to pick up her 7-year-old son, Liam, from school. Life wasn't easy, bills piled up faster than paychecks, and every day felt like a race against exhaustion. But no matter how tired she was, Sarah carried one thing with her everywhere: kindness. As she crossed the street, her umbrella snapped inside out from the wind. She sighed, laughing at her own bad luck, when suddenly she noticed a man on the sidewalk collapse to his knees, clutching his chest. People walked by, some staring, some whispering, but no one stopped. Sarah didn't think twice. She ran to him, dropping her broken umbrella. "Sir, can you hear me?" she shouted, pressing 2 fingers to his neck. His pulse was faint. Without hesitation, she called 911, then knelt beside him in the pouring rain. She tilted his head back and began CPR, counting compressions aloud as the operator guided her. Minutes felt like hours, but just before the ambulance arrived, the man gasped for air. His pale face flushed with life again. Sarah sighed in relief, tears mixing with the rain. When paramedics rushed him inside, one of them asked, "Are you family?" She shook her head. "No, just someone who couldn't walk away." She thought that was the end of it. 2 days later, Sarah was finishing a night shift at the diner when a man in a tailored suit walked in. His presence turned heads. He scanned the room until his eyes locked on her. It was him. The stranger from the street. Except now he was standing tall, alive, and somehow even more intimidating. "You're the woman who saved me," he said, voice steady yet filled with emotion. "My name is Daniel Carter." Sarah blushed, wiping her hands on her apron. "I'm glad you're okay. Honestly, I just did what anyone would have done." "Not everyone would have," Daniel replied. "And not everyone did. But you saved my life." Over the next weeks, Daniel appeared at the diner often. At first, Sarah thought he was just being polite, wanting to thank her. But soon, their conversations grew longer. He laughed with her, listened to her dreams, even joked with little Liam when he came in to wait for his mom. Then came the twist Sarah never expected. Daniel wasn't just any man. He was the CEO of a global tech company, wealthy, powerful, the kind of person who normally lived in a completely different world from hers. When Sarah found out, she panicked. She'd been abandoned before by men who thought her struggles made her too much. She didn't want pity. She didn't want charity. One evening, when Daniel offered to drive her home after work, she said softly, "You don't have to keep doing this. I know who you are now. You're a CEO, and I'm just a single mom trying to pay rent." Daniel pulled the car over and looked at her with an intensity that silenced her doubts. "Sarah, the night you saved me, I didn't see a waitress. I didn't see a single mom. I saw the most courageous, selfless person I've ever met. That's who you are to me. And that's who I'm falling in love with." Her breath caught in her throat. No one had ever spoken to her like that. Months later, Sarah stood in her tiny living room, helping Liam with homework, when Daniel walked in carrying a bouquet of lilies, her favorite. He knelt before her, not with the cold arrogance of a CEO, but with the humble heart of a man who had been given a second chance at life. "Sarah Evans," he said, voice trembling, "you saved my life once. Will you let me spend the rest of mine proving that it was worth saving?" Tears spilled down her cheeks as Liam shouted, "Say yes, Mom!" And she did. The message? Sometimes the smallest act of kindness can change the course of not just one life, but 2. Sarah thought she was saving a stranger. In reality, she was saving herself too. Finding love, respect, and a partner who saw her true worth. Because love doesn't measure bank accounts or titles. It measures the courage of the heart.